Good evening, people. Welcome to the Freedom Challenge. Today we will be looking at the voice of freedom. Today is special, and you know what makes it so special? Today at SOAR, we are celebrating India's freedom. Yes, you're right. It's Independence Day special. And I'm sure by the end of tonight's program, you will have something to take back with you. So without any further ado, let's begin with tonight. Let's welcome our music presenter, Timothy and the SOAR Band.
flesh was redeemed, only beauty remains. My orphan heart was given a name. My mourning grew quiet, my feet rose to dance. When death was arrested, my life began. Oh, your grace is so free, washes over me. You have made me new, now life begins with you. Released from my chains, I'm a prisoner no more. My shame was a ransom, faithful. He answered my debt and he called me his friend. When death was arrested and my life began. Oh, your grace so free, washes over me. You have made me new, now life begins with you. It's your endless love pouring down on us. You have made me new, now life begins with you. A Savior displayed on a criminal's cross. Darkness rejoiced as though heaven had lost. But then Jesus arose with our freedom in hand. That's when death was arrested and my life began. Oh, your grace so free, washes over me. You have made me new, now life begins with you. It's your endless love pouring down on us. You have made me new, now life begins with you. Oh, we're free, free, forever we're free. Come join the song of all the redeemed. Yes, we're free, free, forever, amen. When that was arrested and my life began. Oh, we're free, free, forever we're free. Come join the song of all the redeemed. Oh, we're free, free, forever, amen. When death was arrested and my life began. When death was arrested and my life began. When death was arrested and my life began. Oh, your grace so free, washes over me. You have made me new, now life begins with you. It's your endless love pouring down on us. You have made us new, now life begins with you.
The voice of freedom. The voice of freedom is hidden in expression of the awe, in the sheer vastness and beauty of every existence. The bold voice of freedom is found echoing with the wind amidst those green farm fields where farmers sow and reap, yet freely. I find the voice of freedom flowing in the streams of abundant life that constitutes the nature of my Creator. Yes, I see the voice of freedom flying high with the birds in the unbound sky of liberty. The true freedom is found in the uniqueness of our identities. The freedom we are reminded of is found in the young, free, and bold heart of ours. The voice of freedom is not found amidst the crowd of comparisons. It is found in His love and compassion. Yes, I say we are free. Yes, I say we are free, but not because we claim it, but because it's grace that comes along with it. To be free is what everyone thrived for. To be free is what everyone thrived for, yet they didn't know the sacrifice that it called for. You will see the voice of freedom covered in love. You will see the voice of freedom at work in love. To be free is not a proverb. To be free is found in the word. Freedom demands to know the truth. The truth assures you to be free. Like a lark that flies high, so is yours and mine freedom soaring high and wide. Freedom never required to be materialistic. Freedom never demanded treasures indeed. All that it asked for was your and my hunger to allow it to feed. Now I say with heads held high, now I say with heads held high, I am not bound and no net ensnares me. I am not bound and no net ensnares me. For the clear voice of freedom is found in the grace that beholds me. The clear voice of freedom is found in the love that came for me.
Good evening, viewers. Thank you for joining us today, and I would like to welcome you once again to our SOAR Live Independence Day special, which we are calling The Voice of Freedom. As we all know that in our country, we have many professions, many different job roles that we can associate with the voice of freedom. And today here at SOAR Live, we have two individuals who, in their own profession, are known to being as the voice of freedom. So we have here with us today Dr. Moses Arun Singh and Advocate Aditya Sarkar. It's our pleasure to have you here with us on SOAR Live. And I'd request both of you, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves to our viewers.
My name is Moses Arun Singh, and I'm a practicing radiation clinical oncologist, which basically means that I treat cancer patients with radiation and chemotherapy. I'm currently placed as a consultant at Tata Medical Center in Newtown. I am from the state of Tamil Nadu, but I've been working here in Kolkata since the year 2013.
My name is Aditya Sarkar. Essentially, I am a commercial and corporate lawyer. I just completed my graduation from Nalsar University of Law, Hyderabad, and I will be working at a law firm in Mumbai from this January.
Well, thank you for your introduction. So actually, today Aditya turns 24. Today is his birthday. Thank you for coming and joining us. I hope so far you had a great day, and I know now also you're going to have a great day because you're being interviewed by me. So
yeah, this is my birthday special from Isaac. Thank you.
Well, I'm very curious to know actually, and I'm sure people who are watching too are really curious to know that why did you take this up as a profession? Maybe Aditya, you can start. What inspired you to actually take this up as a profession? Why did you want to become a lawyer? Now, don't tell me that you saw Sunny Deol in Damini movie saying Tariq pe Tariq, Tariq pe Tariq, and that inspired you.
I think that's really iconic in its own way. But I think if I'm going to be like very brutally honest, then I love debating. So and I love arguing with my mom. So I just thought that if I'm so good at it, might as well turn it into a profession. Um, in all seriousness, though, I've always seen lawyers growing up in various stages and projects that I've done in school. And I've always seen lawyers to be solution oriented people. And that always kind of appealed to me because we live in a world which is full of problems. We live in a world which has limited resources, I think. And to see people make do with what they have and probably like give solutions to other people in this world is something that really appealed to me. Another thing that I think not just from watching Suits, but generally I think like lawyers are very cool people. As I came to find out, was not as great an opinion that people had when they started calling me liar instead of lawyer. But yeah, it's been a fun journey so far, being a lawyer and practicing and experiencing everything that I have so far.
So Isaac, I can definitely say that I was not definitely inspired by Munna by MBBS. If I were to quote a movie which inspired me, possibly I would say that it was Patch Adams by Robin Williams. But specifically talking about becoming an oncologist, I can't recall ever being uh, really inspired to become an oncologist apart from really aiming to be a doctor. But having been an oncologist for some time now, I can say for sure that if I'm given an opportunity to become a specialist again, I would definitely choose to be an oncologist again. It's just because of the immense pleasure that I get by being there for people when they are facing their greatest fear and desperation when they are diagnosed with the dreaded disease cancer. You can say that I'm really addicted to being in such a position.
My question to you will be, Dr. Moses, for how long have you been in this profession? And considering the pandemic and whatever has been happening in the last few months, how has the last few months been for you compared to when things were normal?
I've been a doctor for nearly 12 years now, and of that, an oncologist for about 7 years now. So some of the changes that has really affected me are how I interact with my patients. So usually in my field, I have to be very interactive with patients and explain to them about the diagnosis and about their outcomes, and I have to be very interactive, and they need to be able to see my face as to uh, the facial cues and everything. But now during this pandemic, I'm hiding behind a mask and a face shield, so that makes it very difficult for me to communicate properly with my patients. That has been a real struggle.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Doctor. Aditya, my question to you is that I believe that if the pandemic would not have hit us, probably you would have been in a courtroom or probably some of the courtrooms in another city practicing and fighting for justice. Well, how has this pandemic been for you, and rather, how has it been for you, and how has it affected your fight towards justice?
If the pandemic had not hit us, then I would have probably been working at my law firm in Bombay since this July, in fact. And what has now happened is that my work has been deferred and shifted to January, so I start then. On the whole, lawyers are facing difficulties largely because physical hearings are not possible anymore. So I think that's just been like a difficulty in terms of pursuing justice, not just for me, but as well as for people across the world, I think.
Dr. Moses, let me come to you on this. Uh, how do you feel like being on the front line in this battle against this pandemic? What do you feel about this, and how do you manage to motivate yourself like to keep up this fight against this pandemic?
At the beginning, some of our colleagues and even, across the country, they faced a lot of discrimination, even at their work. Even at their place of stay when they were going back home after working in the hospital for the whole day. They were not allowed even to enter into their housing communities. But then the government officials and the enforcement officials, they were excellent in their support, and things slowly normalized over time. Um, Calling myself a frontline warrior, I wouldn't dare to call myself a frontline warrior, because I know of the sacrifices all the nurses and the staff who are working in the actual COVID isolation wards are going through. So compared to them, what I'm doing is nothing. You just have to imagine the amount of sacrifice that it takes for someone to be wearing that stuffy protective equipments and stay in that small isolation room with a COVID patient for 8 hours together, and to do that day in and day out. Really hats off to them. I would say that these people who are doing everything selflessly, they are my inspiration and motivation to keep myself going in this situation.
Aditya, I'll ask you this question. How has it been for you, and how are you motivating yourself during this difficult time?
If you ask me specifically though about why and what keeps me motivated, I think a lot of discussion has been happening recently about checking in about your mental health. And what I've been doing over this period and over the past couple of months is being able to check in with God. So I think one habit that I've developed because of the time that I've had at home and just generally free time is that I've started my mornings with some time of personal devotion. And I think that really sets the tone for my day, and really just motivates me to do things that I want to, even if I know that I might not be able to do them throughout the day, even if I don't tick off things on my to-do list. It's okay. So long as my day is set when I've been able to have a check-in with God, been able to sing a song or two, and that's just been helpful in that sense. Another way in which I have kind of like stayed afloat is that God has given me an opportunity to be involved in a lot of relief work actually post the Amphan cyclone, and just generally in terms of the pandemic. People have suffered over time, and I've been working with a few of my friends, some of the organizations that are working in Calcutta and around it, to provide relief and just generally help out people. And I think that that's been a great opportunity just to like open up and see the world around me and people who are suffering, and really just like teaching me empathy every single day. And I'm grateful to God that He has given me the ability and the means to be able to help. And that's largely been what I'm thankful for, and what really has motivated me and kept me afloat during this difficult time.
Thank you for sharing that, Aditya. I think both of you and Dr. Moses have shared with us some things that we would want to apply in our own lives. As we are close to the end of our program or the end of the interview, I would want to ask this last question to both of you, or rather the second last question. According to you, what do you think should the voice of freedom sound like?
Honestly, when you asked me the question, the immediate first thought in my head was singing very loudly when I'm taking a bath or in the shower. That feels like a lot of freedom for me, just personally. But in all seriousness, I think when so we're in a time when things are difficult for everyone around us, and it's not getting any easier because we're seeing so much of racial and communal divide as well in the world today. We're at the cusp of like a time where it's going to change a lot of things and the way in which we do normal again, right? So at this time, I think the voice of freedom is one which, in such difficult times, is able to help not just itself, but also be able to speak truth to other people's situations and speak against any kind of falsities and problems that occur in other people's lives. So when I say that, I mean that I really believe that the truth will set you free. In lawyers' terms, also, while we call us, well, most people tend to call us liars. When we say "जो भी कहूँगा सच के सिवाय और कुछ नहीं कहूँगा," it's actually true. I mean, and truth really does provide a sense of freedom, and I think Jesus did that as well in his life and through his teachings. So, a voice which speaks truth for its own upliftment, for someone else's upliftment, and against someone trying to push someone else down, that is a voice of freedom for me.
I think I would echo whatever Atya has said just now. So I think uh, when we gained independence, our founding fathers were keen to see a state of India where every citizen of our country would be treated equally, regardless of where they came from, what language they spoke, what religion they professed, and what gender they were, and basically have equal opportunity to live in this country and aim to live a happy life in this country. So for me, our voice of freedom should echo this idea. I also strongly believe that it should not be confined within the borders of India, and this voice of freedom should not be confined by a geographical boundary, but resound across the globe.
Thank you, Dr. Moses and Aditya, for being here. As we wrap up this interview, do you want to leave any words of encouragement for our viewers?
Nothing apart from saying that be kind to one another and keep hanging in there. Pay forward all the blessings and grace that we have received.
I think it's just easy to say that maintain your physical distancing and stay safe. Wash your hands for 20 seconds. But apart from that, please stay motivated. Find one thing in your day that really gives you happiness and try to do it, because we are living in difficult times. So keep spirits up, and this is a great time for us to also think about people who are beyond us. So it's a time to be selfless as well.
Well, thank you both for being here. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time and really appreciate the fact that you took out time to be here. And I'm sure our viewers are also very much enlightened by whatever you have shared. And I'll request the viewers to show their appreciation by commenting in the chat section. Just comments, just say thank you to both of them for being here. Thank you.
How great the chasm that lay between us, how high the mountains I could not climb. In desperation, I turned to heaven and spoke your name into the night. And through the darkness, your loving kindness tore through the shadows of my soul. The work is finished, the end is written. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Could imagine so great a mercy. What heart could fathom such boundless grace? The God of ages
of the silence, the roaring lion declared the grave has no claim on me. Then came the morning that sealed the promise. Your buried body began to breathe out of the silence. The roaring lion declared the grave has no claim on me. Jesus, yours is the victory. Hallelujah, praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah, death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name, Jesus Christ, my living hope. Hallelujah, praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah, death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name, Jesus Christ, my living hope. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Oh God, you are my living hope.
Wow, well, that was awesome. Thank you to everyone who were involved in tonight's Freedom Special. This has impacted my life, and if it has impacted your life too, then please do like this video and share it with your friends. We have something called the virtual trek happening just for you, and if you need more details about it, or if you need someone to talk to, don't hesitate to contact us on our helpline numbers. Continue to support us by clicking on the gift tab so we can invest in a greater cause. To know more about SOAR, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to tap on the bell icon so you can receive further notifications. Thank you once again for joining here with us for SOAR. We will meet next Sunday. Jai Hind.